Friend, stop for a moment and really consider what I'm about to say. I know exactly what you're going through. You're the one who always sends the first message. You're the one who takes the initiative to meet up. You're the one who compliments. You're the one who tries so hard to be affectionate and available. But despite it all, she continues to appear distant, unenthusiastic. And now you're wondering, where did I go wrong? I get it. It seems to you that if you do more, if you try even harder, she'll eventually realize your worth and come back to you. But friend, let me tell you straight. This is exactly what's pushing her away. The reality is that women are attracted to what they have to earn, not what comes easily. When you are always available, when you keep trying to win her over at every turn, you are sending a very clear message, one that you may not even realize. I need you more than you need me. And when a woman starts to sense that kind of imbalance, her interest in you begins to wane. It's not about doing more or trying to prove something. It's about figuring out how to take control of the situation. Today I want to explain why trying to do too much is destroying your chances and, more importantly, what you should do to turn things around. The first key point is the power of holding back. What many men don't realize is that being too available is the surest way to push her away. Imagine this. You meet someone you like, and you start texting her, constantly reaching out, always being there when she needs you. She may appreciate it at first, but over time, this constant availability starts to become predictable. There are no surprises, no mystery. When you're always there every moment, you leave no room for the healthy tension that sparks interest. Attraction never grows when there's no challenge, no mystery. People in general lose interest when things are too easy and immediate. And this isn't just true in romantic relationships. It's true in other areas of life. Have you ever gotten something you wanted easily and then lost interest once you had it? It's the same principle that applies in relationships. It is not me who says it. History teaches it. Look at the case of Pablo Picasso. In 1936, in Paris, Picasso was already one of the most famous and respected artists of his time, accustomed to being admired by all the women he met. But then he met Dora Maar, an independent photographer, highly intelligent and mysterious, who did not behave like other women. She did not make him adore her. She did not try to please him with every request. On the contrary, she had her own life, her passions, and this affected him deeply. Her indifference, her certainty of not needing him, ignited an interest in Picasso that pushed him to pursue her with even more passion. The more Dora concentrated on her life and her career, the more Picasso found her irresistible. Thus, Dora became his muse, his object of obsession. This is the lesson you need to learn. Withdrawing is not a game. It's not about manipulating the situation. It's about showing that you have a life of your own, a value that doesn't depend on her attention. When a man knows who he is, what he wants, and has an interesting and fulfilling life, he attracts respect, not just from women, but from everyone. There's no need to chase, to go to great lengths to get noticed. When you walk away without pressure, without constantly trying to be there for her, you make her understand that your life doesn't depend on hers. And if she's really interested, she'll come back. Conversely, if she's not only will you have saved yourself time, you'll have regained your self-respect. Ultimately, the message I want you to take away is that attraction doesn't come from constant availability. If you learn to step back, make room for your life, and not always be there when she expects you to be, you'll start to create the tension and interest needed to make her think about what she's missing out on. It's not about trying to change her, it's about changing yourself so she can't help but notice who you've become, without you having to constantly prove it. You know that feeling when you finally stop looking at your phone for a while and suddenly the world around you seems different? It's like the silence makes you appreciate every little detail more. Now that's exactly how attraction works. If you're always there, always ready to text first, always checking in on her status, always trying to keep the conversation going, she'll never have a chance to miss you. And that very lack is what makes her think of you. When you let her hear you alone every now and then without forcing it, she has the opportunity to think about you, to desire you, and to want you. Imagine your favorite pizza. At first, when you eat it, it's amazing. You eat it a second time and think, wow, that's still good. But what happens if you eat it every single day? For breakfast, lunch, and dinner. After a while, you'll stop craving it. It won't seem special anymore. In fact, you'll get tired of it. But if you take a break, if you put it aside for a while, the moment you eat it again will be completely different. The first slice will taste so much new. It will feel so much more satisfying than it ever did before. The same principle applies in relationships. If you're always there, always available, always ready to respond, never leaving space, not just for her but for yourself to live your life, you'll end up not being appreciated the way you once were. You'll never give her a chance to wonder, where is she now? Or what's she doing? Those moments of distance, when she's wondering where you are or what you're doing, are key to attraction. It's not about intentionally ignoring her, but about living your life, doing what you love, focusing on yourself, so that she will come looking for you. When she starts asking about you, you begin to understand that you are on the right path. So, stop worrying about always being there in her messages, on her social media and her thoughts. Make room for her to feel your absence. If she really likes you, she will come forward, she will look for you. And if she doesn't, at least you will know exactly where you are, and you will no longer have wasted time and energy in a relationship that brings nothing good. Let's move on to another important point. Stop trying to prove your worth. This is something that many guys don't understand well. When they meet a girl they like, they feel the need to convince her that they are the right person, that they are worth it. They start talking about their successes. They try to impress her with jokes and gestures that are too forced. They try to be especially kind and thoughtful, but this is not the right path. True confidence is not based on demonstration. True confidence comes from knowing your value, from knowing who you are, without needing approval from anyone. Think about those people you meet and who impress you. They are never too intrusive. They don't force themselves to stand out. They don't need to be the center of attention to impress others, but they are simply themselves. And yet, without even making an effort, they manage to earn the respect of everyone around them. This is the true meaning of confidence. It is not something that is expressed with theatrical gestures, but it is something that is possessed, a quality that radiates naturally. Women, like everyone else, can sense when a man is seeking approval, and this energy is very unattractive. In fact, it is a major turn-off. It is the energy of need, and that is precisely what scares people. On the other hand, when you stop trying to impress and simply present yourself as you are, without pretensions, you become infinitely more interesting. And it is not just her who notices, but everyone around you. Your natural confidence and ease exude an energy that attracts, because the real energy, the one that is based on you, is far more powerful and attractive than any effort. Next time you're with her, relax. Don't force the conversation. Don't try to be the funniest, smartest, or most charming. Just be yourself. Listen more than you talk. Be present instead of acting. This is what creates real attraction, because the moment you stop chasing approval, that's when you start getting it. The key is to never seem too busy convincing someone of your value. Natural attraction happens when you stop trying to prove who you are and start showing who you really are, without pretending. Another important concept is the type of relationship you're trying to build. When you think about it, the best relationships, the ones that really last, feel more like a story than a transaction. Because too often, a lot of guys approach dating like a business deal. I took you to dinner. I paid you a compliment. I was nice to you, so now I should like you. But that's not how it works. Women don't fall in love with logic. They fall in love with emotion, with the experience, with the story they're having. Have you ever thought about which approach is more exciting? A guy who's always trying to win her over, who's in a rush to complete every step and be in control, or a guy who lives his life, has fun, does his thing, and just lets the moments happen naturally, without forcing anything. I knew a guy who met a woman who didn't care much about him at first. Instead of chasing her, instead of trying to force something, he focused on himself. Every time they crossed paths, he was easy, fun, having his own life. Months later, without warning, she started to take an interest. Why? Because he had given their story time to develop. He wasn't in a hurry. He had let his curiosity grow. That's what a lot of guys miss. Attraction isn't a business deal. It's a journey. It's those unexpected moments, that play of glances, that spark that happens in moments of uncertainty and anticipation. When you stop forcing the outcome and start enjoying the journey, That's when the connection really happens. And finally, there's emotional control, a concept many people don't understand. Have you ever noticed how the guy who doesn't seem to care too much is often the one with the most power? Not because he's playing it cool or being a bad boy, but because he's not emotionally dependent on what's happening. He's enjoying the moment, but not holding on to it. And believe me, women sense this energy immediately. When she withdraws, don't panic. When she takes hours to respond to your texts, don't send her another text right away. When she says, "I don't know how I feel," don't beg her to clarify. When you start overreacting, overthinking, and chasing, you lose control of the situation entirely. Instead, stand firm. Show that you're confident, that you're not going to be swayed by her moves. And that's the magnetic part. Women are naturally attracted to a man who isn't desperate for their approval, who can handle uncertainty without losing his cool. That's true confidence. It's the energy that makes women want to be with you. Because you're not just another guy looking for validation, you're the one who sets the tone. Ultimately, the best way to attract a woman is to be someone worth attracting. That means having a life of your own, a mission and standards. When you stop chasing and start living, everything changes. The right woman will see your value without you having to convince her. So stop trying to do too much. Be cool, be confident, and most importantly, be the one she wants to chase, not the one who is always begging for her attention. Trust me, she will appreciate you a lot more if you go that route. Now go out there and approach the situation like a real man.